Greetings, YouTubers and live videoers. It's me, Wayman29, and I was surfing the internet here. I don't know right up front. I never read the Quran, and I don't know too much about Islam enough to talk about it in a positive and educated way. I don't know a lot of the background information. However, I was thinking about right now. I'm kind of into studying the Jewish underworld, the idea of the underworld, and how the afterlife and underworld and punishment and the like came about in thinking. So I've been looking at ancient Near Eastern mythology stories like Nergal and Erishkigal, um, uh, Enkidu's in the Epic of Gilgamesh, Enkidu's vision of the underworld, the mention of the underworld in the what was it? The Iliad and Odysseus's descent into the underworld in the Odyssey. And there was another one, the descent of Ishtar to the underworld. So you kind of get overall picture of what it was like, especially in the older texts, in the biblical texts, especially Job was pretty old before all the ideas after the Babylonian period started coming in, where punishments and different levels started to be to become more apparent in the religion, allegory, and the metaphor. So mainly, they were as dust. They ate dust, and it was dark. But I found a video from the Islamic point of view. It's Ismail, ISLAMME 1, and I'm just going to post a reply to it because I found it educational. I don't know anything about Islam, but he gives a rundown of the whole deal. The sorts of sins that would get you to the underworld and the horrible punishments that await such people. So, just for an overall view, I would suggest checking out that video, and it was very informational. Kind of going through the Dead Sea Scrolls, as I mentioned before, and there's a lot of interesting stuff in there. Mostly, what I found out is the Old Testament idea of Satan. He was more of like an accuser or a prosecutor, and he functioned in this role in the text of Job, where a righteous person would be righteous, and he would be telling Yahweh, "Well, are they really righteous?" And of course, Yahweh would make a deal and have to find out. So bad things happen to good people and the whole story. However, it started to change where names of angels and dimensions and the idea of the afterlife started to change when they came back from the Babylonian exile. One of the first ideas of the resurrection is in the vision of Ezekiel and the dry bones. That starts the budding idea of resurrection. And later, that was a requirement to get in, was with the covenant. You would have to believe in the resurrection, or you would go to Sheol. So, you would be raised up. The others would be left there in the dust to stay. However, that all changed. You get into the New Testament, and there's all sorts of horrible punishments that are dealt out. So, I'll probably be doing a video maybe more on that later. But I'm going to add this to the favorites. I might even link a video response to it and see how it goes. So, to Islamah 1, very educational video, and I found it most interesting in my studies of the many ideas of the underworld. So, thank you.